Fans, welcome to Robbinsville for tonight's varsity volleyball matchup between the visitors from Silva, the Smoky Mountain Lady Mustangs, and your Robbinsville Lady Knights. Kevin Hensley and Montana Buchanan with you for tonight's telecast right here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be. Back in just a few minutes with the playing of our national anthem and the introduction of our starting lineups. It's Robbinsville Smoky Mountain Volleyball here on the Gramstar Sports Network.
At this time, if you would please stand, down and remove all headwear as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Robbinsville, let's hear some noise for your 10-4 Lady Knights. A senior from Summer Road number 14, Taya Howell. And the senior from Inco of Cherokee number 22, Bill Welch. Starter Strata Junior from Cynthia Lane number 1, Delaney Bruce. A freshman from Smoky number 2, Surrey Wade. Number 3, a sophomore from Pink Slime Road, Claire Barlow. Number 4, a senior outside hitter from High Splendor, Kingsley Phillips. Another senior, number 6, the center, Jessica Trimble. Number 8, a sophomore from Cooper Hollow, Liz Carpenter. And a junior middle hitter from Old Santila, number 16, Aubrey Machacha. Lady Knights are coached by Kenny Phillips, chief assistant by Danny Groves.
All right, fans, welcome back to Robbinsville High. This is Smoky Mountain and Lady Knights Volleyball here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Kevin Hensley and Montana Buchanan with you for tonight's telecast. And this will be our only one of the week, fans, as everything else is taking place away, and we won't be able to stream as a result. Sometimes we can give visitors permission, but it's not often, unfortunately. And our friends over in Swain County, of course, have the Maroon Devil Network on YouTube. You'll be able to watch tomorrow's volleyball match against the Lady Devils on the Maroon Devils Network on YouTube. And then on Thursday, that's right, I said Thursday, varsity football will be at Swain County as well. Had a bit of a schedule change come in today about 3 o'clock as the latest hurricane trouble looks to roll through North Carolina and our part of the state around Friday. And it looks like we're just about set to go with the opening serve here in Robbinsville. Desta Trammell will head back to the service line to begin things in Robbinsville. A little bit of a net adjustment going. Trammell back at the line, patiently awaiting. And we're just about set to go. Up at the net right now, Kinsley Phillips, Claire Barlow, and Liz Carpenter for Robbinsville lined up, stacked three high at the net. Up front, Bailey Clower and Chandler Jerome, pair of seniors for the Lady Mustangs. And once we get the net fixed, we'll be set to go, looks like. And I believe the opening serve is going to come now. Here we go. And we are underway tonight here in Robbinsville. Good to have you with us here on the Gramstar Sports Network. And a quick point goes to the Mustangs. It's 1-0 here in the opening salvo. Robbinsville's next three matches, as a matter of fact, are going to be on the road. Tomorrow night will be at Swain County. Thursday, which was not supposed to be football night, but now it is, so deal with that how we may. Robbinsville will have to travel to Cherokee for a varsity volleyball matchup, of course. Middle school and JV will precede that. And then next Tuesday, the Lady Knights will head to Murphy for a big rematch against the Lady Bulldogs, who have clawed their way back to second place in the conference standings. Robbinsville 4-0 in the division so far. The Lady Knights will finally get a chance to return home on October the 5th when Andrews pays a visit. That'll be a Thursday matchup that we will have for you here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Robbinsville will then have one more away match on its docket. They'll head to Franklin Monday, October the 10th, before returning home for a pair of home matches. Tuesday, October 11th will be Pink Night against Hayesville. And then Thursday, October 13th will be the regular season finale against Swain here at home. So the divisional race can really come down to the wire. Of course, the conference tournament will take place beginning Saturday, October the 15th at Swain County. Timeout called as Smoky Mountain has leapt out to a 5-0 lead, and the Lady Knights need to figure out a way to regroup here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Mustangs are off to a hot start. It's 5-0 Smoky Mountain as we come back to you live from Robbinsville. Good to have you with us wherever you may be tuned in on the Gramstar Sports Network. Just 7 days ago, the Lady Knights paid a visit to Silva to take on Smoky Mountain, and it was a 4-set victory for Robbinsville. As a result, of course, the junior varsity also won over there in close 26-24 sets, but picked up the win. That was not the case earlier tonight in our opener, which you did not see. Of course, we did not go live for that, but it was a 25-19, 25-16 victory for the JV Lady Mustangs. Robbinsville finally on the board, 6-1, and senior Kinsley Phillips will head back to the service line. Serve is off, and it is good. Received on the return by Phillips. Big block at the net. Laney Brooms tried to squash one and got squashed in return. Get the point to Smoky Mountain, who leads 7-1 here in set one. We made every conservative effort tonight, fans, to get our enhanced broadcast off the ground, and we're right on the cusp of it until we ran into an audio issue, and we didn't want you guys having to watch the game with no sound. That wouldn't have been any fun, so we decided to just go old school. And we've got a scoreboard set up. We've got the alternate angles ready to go. We just couldn't get any sound to work for us. And it was working last night during a test run, so That's a little frustrating, but we'll get through it. We'll get this thing rolling eventually. For all you great fans here on GramStarSports.com, we thank you for supporting Robbinsville Athletics. Your purchase does go a long way. Of course, a portion of the proceeds, I beg your pardon, will go back to all 6 of the sports that we stream this season. Waddy bumps it over to Liz Carpenter, and she'll not be able to clear the net. That'll make it 9-2. Lady Mustangs are in full control at the moment. Robbinsville still trying to piece together and figure out what exactly is happening here tonight. Number 3, that's Zalia Spencer. She is another senior for the Mustangs. Big block at the net again. Give that one to Susanna Raynor, Jr. for the Mustangs. And Spencer heads back to serve again. Here's Wachacha in the middle. She'll send it out. And it is 10-2 Smoky Mountain. Don't know that Robbinsville was looking for this, as they jumped out early over in Silva and prevailed in 4. Lady Mustangs didn't make it easy, of course. But Robbinsville did ultimately prevail 7 days ago, returned home to face Hiawassee Dam last Tuesday, and has actually not played a match since. Much needed breather, about 5 days worth. Nice sliding receive by Kinsley Phillips. High return by Carpenter on the right-hand side, and it gets returned by the Mustangs. Here comes Carpenter again. Dug out nicely by Spencer, and number 8, Raynor, cannot get there in time. 12-3 is your score, as Robbinsville desperately trying to play catch-up. And just the person to do it at the service line, that's Taya Owl, one of the 4 Lady Knights seniors. Tip over the net by Greenlee Flynn. Nothing doing, though. Robbinsville able to reply. And the scamper worked, believe it or not. Olivia Rice slipped. Nice dive to save it on the back row. Good back row defense here in the early going for the Mustangs. Set by Tremble. Left side shot by Brooms. Finds the floor. It is 12-4. A lot more to go, but Robbinsville trying to rally back. Of course, Smoky Mountain went on a 6-0 run to begin tonight's contest. And here's Owl again at the service line. Dug out by Spencer, but it went the wrong way. And that'll be an ace for Taya Owl. 12-5 is your score. As we said, fans, we appreciate all of you tuning in tonight here on the Gramstar Sports Network, your exclusive home for Robbinsville Athletics. And we are for sure streaming it all season long and hopefully beyond. We tried so hard to have this enhanced broadcast ready to go before the season began. That didn't exactly pan out. We've been working on it ever since and just keep running into bugs left and right. Point goes to the Mustangs. 13-5 will be your score here in set number 1. Hard spike by Greenlee Flynn from the service line. Bump pass by Trammell to Brooms. Brooms will smack it again. Flynn not having that on the back row. Pass from Phillips to Trammell to Wachacha with a tip. And a pair of pushes. Gets it back over for the Mustangs. Here's Kinsley Phillips from the back. Pops it high. That went off the lower part of her hand, right around the wrist area. But you know what? It worked. Innovative as it may have been. And here comes the junior outside hitter from Cynthia Lane right off the side of Tallulah Road. That's Delaney Brooms. Sending the ball over for the first time tonight. Blocked by Big Aubrey Wachacha. 13-7 here in set number 1. That's a big block for Aubrey Wachacha. And now the Mustangs want to play catch up. A little bit of mental preparation going to have to take place. Robbinsville's fighting back. 13-7 Mustangs. 13-7 as we're back with you live from Robbinsville High School. Delaney Brooms is serving up a slow but sure Robbinsville rally. Lady Knights trailed 12-3 and are on a roll here as Delaney Brooms racks up an ace. It's 13-8. So that is a 4-1 run, or excuse me, a 5-1 run, I beg your pardon, for the Lady Knights. Hard serve by Brooms. Obviously, the Knights need something. Nice save by Owl. Good push over to Kinsley Phillips. And a big kill for the senior from the lower end of High Splendor, Kinsley Phillips. 13-9 as the rally bid continues. Mustangs had to know Robbinsville was not going to stay down very long. There's a set, and it looks like a net violation as Mariella Shepard, she is a senior setter for the Mustangs, leapt into the net and broke the neutral line, and that was enough for an infraction. It's 13-10 here on this comeback bid. In another ace for Delaney Brooms, and make that an 8-1 run Robbinsville is on at the moment to get back into things. Big block by Wachacha gave way to that. Here's Delaney Brooms again. Hard spike. And nobody's talking, and you can't do that. So the rally bid ends. Smoky Mountain up 14-11. An 8-1 run comes to a devastating end. But hey, Lady Knights are back in it. It's 14-11. Received by Suriwati. Set by Trammell. Blocked at the net immediately by Jerome. That time, they got no answers for the front line of the Lady Knights. 14-12. And the student section begins a chant for Aubrey Wachacha. Hard spike. Brooms actually got underneath it for the dig, but it went a little errant. She just mistimed that by the slightest of milliseconds. 15-12, and now we've got us a ball game, fans. Again, this will be our only telecast of the week. We'll continue to work as feverishly as we can before we come back to you with the Lady Knights return home next Thursday, October the 6th, against the Andrews Wildcats. And Robbinsville. Andrews is next week, my apologies. Robbinsville looking for the call there and got it. Touched the top of the net. And you can't do that. 15-13 here in set one. Here's Trammell as Robbinsville's already worked its way through the rotation. Hard left-handed spike by Chandler Jerome for the Mustangs. This senior heavy team on the floor right now. They've got 5 on their roster. And there's a shot from the back row. And it looks like it will be an ace for Isabel Stevens. She's a junior, so she'll be back around next year. Smoky Mountain and Franklin, of course, competing in the very same conference. Used to be the Mountain 6, and it is now the Mountain 7, as the Mustangs are now a 3A school, as of last year, of course. State realignments take place every 2 years. Phillips' tip was tipped back, but it went wide right. And it is 17-14 for Kinsley Phillips. Don't worry, fans. Even if we're not streaming, we will have the latest updates from games that we are covering on our social media. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and, of course, our YouTube channel. A lot of sports archived on there if you want to relive some moments from the past season and a half or so of Robbinsville sports. We've got it archived along with county meetings, community events. It's all to be found on the Gramstar YouTube channel. On the back row, Phillips with a spike over. Pass from Rice. Goes to the front row to Flynn. Phillips with a diving save. Nicely done. Waddy with a smack. And the tip will go over the net. And they're going to say that Delaney Brooms touched the top of the net. And the Mustangs still one step ahead. Robbinsville cut it to 2. But now it's an 18-14 Mustangs lead. And Chandler Jerome Senior middle hitter for the Mustangs fires off from the left side. Big southpaw with the ace. Katie Phillips will strategize once again. Timeout called. Stay with us. Back in just a moment. Jerome with a jump serve as we're back with you live from Robbinsville. It's a heated battle here in set one of the Lady Knights and Lady Mustangs varsity matchup here on GramstarSports.com. Kevin Hensley and the always enjoyable Montana Buchanan with you for tonight's telecast. Sari Waddy, the freshman libero sensation from Swain County, will fire off a shot. Waddy came over during the offseason, played exactly one JV game, and Katie Phillips had seen enough. She gave her a promotion to the big leagues right after that performance in the season opener. And Waddy has really proven her worth as a result. 19-16 as Robbinsville continues to slowly, methodically try to get back into this thing. Wachacha mistimed the smack, and it's 2016. Of course, the Lady Knights went on an 8-0 run after Smoky Mountain opened a 6-0 lead to begin tonight's affair and cut it down to 2. And that's the closest Robbinsville has gotten to being ahead in this one. That was Spencer with the serve. Phillips return, and a dive from the back row is not going to be quick enough. Mustangs are 7-8 this season. And a jog to the back row from Taya Owl. Hard shot over. Azalea Spencer will greet it. Pass from Rice over to the right side, and that flies to the left side to Rayner. And Robbinsville completes the trifecta with a tip from Wachacha. 2018. And student section, all 5 of them making a lot of noise tonight here in Graham County. And Owl will serve again. That one just a hair outside, but that's all it needed to be to give it back to the Lady Mustangs. Your score is 21-18. I'm going to say that one was in. Waddy and Owl just laid off of it thinking it was going to be out. That happens. It's hard to judge it sometimes. (22-18). Here's Phillips with the reception. Tremmel set. Hard kill by the Lady Bruins. She did a hole in the floor, and they're going to have to spend a lot of money to fix it. They just renovated this place. 22-19. Montana Buchanan over here to my left is enthused. Doing a great job bringing all the action to you fans here tonight. Makes my life a little easier. I don't have to move the camera, keep stats, and talk. Takes one less duty off of me. 23-19 on that point, and the Mustangs are close to closing this one out. We had a feeling, fans, this one would be competitive after what we saw last Monday in Silva, and it has lived up to the billing so far. Wachacha will send it out. Thought it was tipped by one of the Lady Mustangs, but nothing doing. And it's set point for Olivia Rice. Travel Wachacha. And that's trouble. Flynn mistimed that one. And now Wachacha will have a chance to push Robbinsville even closer to the comeback. Again, the Mustangs will gladly take a service error. Not going to get it there, though. Rice is going to send it into the bleachers. Give an ace to Aubrey Wachacha, 24-21. Appreciate all of you great fans tuning in with us here on GramstarSports.com. Hard serve. That was beautiful by Wachacha, and the comeback bid continues. Very wise timeout call by Melissa Hill, head coach for the Mustangs. We'll pause with them on GramstarSports.com. (24-22), Aubrey Wachacha at the service line here in set number 1. Flynn gets it. Good communication. Tip. Robbinsville ready for it. Phillips pass. Barlow will bump it back over for the third touch. Here's a hard shot. Brooms interferes with it. Point, Robbinsville. They are going to say that Chandler Jerome got into the net. And for the first time tonight, if you can believe that, fans, Robbinsville trails by 1. They have not led in this match yet. 24-23, it's crunch time here in the opening stanza. Jerome with a hard spike. And that will do them in. Spirited effort by the Lady Knights. But they come up short here in set 1. Back in 3 minutes. 25-23, Smoky Mountain. Stay with us, fans, here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Fans, back with you live from Robbinsville High School. The Smoky Mountain Mustangs have prevailed in set number 1, 25-23. So Lady Knights are going to have their work cut out for them. Of course, the Robbinsville program went over to Smoky Mountain last Monday and took care of business. A straight sweep in JV action and a 4-set victory in varsity. But that's not going to be the case here tonight. At least not right now. Robbinsville, of course, would have to win 3 in a row. An arduous task. It's very doable. And we'll see how it turns out. Opening serve on set 2 goes into the net on the return attempt. 1-0 Mustangs. And fans, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, games this week have been shuffled around quite a bit when you're a football fan, of course. The Lady Knights will play Thursday nonetheless. But it will be varsity football on Thursday, JV football on Wednesday. Things moved up a day due to the impending arrival of hurricane weather. Don't want to have these boys playing in a sheet of rain. A little too dangerous for that. And Robbinsville gets a point. 2-1 the score here in set number 2. Serve is off. And an ace will go to Desta Trammell. We're tied up 2 apiece. Robbinsville still trying to find the first lead of the ball game. And there's a big shot in the middle by Liz Carpenter. Coming in from the corner and making them pay for it. 3-2, Robbinsville's first lead of the ball game on the scoreboard now. Let's see if they can capitalize. Or the Robbinsville Black Knights trickle in. 4-2 your score here in set 2. Trammell will continue to serve. Quick greeting on the back row. Flynn will now spike it hard. Brooms grabs it. Here's Barlow with a tip. Tries to find an open hole and almost does. And Greenlee Flynn can't get it back over. 5-2 Robbinsville. Knights looking more poised here in set 2. Set 1 just kind of got away early, and Robbinsville tries it might, could not get it back. Trammell service error goes out. 5-3. Tomorrow night, Robbinsville Volleyball will be at Swain County, and if you fans want to catch that game, you can watch the Maroon Devils Network on YouTube. That one will be a free one for all you fans in Graham County. And, of course, as we said, Wednesday will be a JV football game. We'll not have that one telecast, but it's a big one. You'll want to come out to Big Oak Stadium to watch it. The JV Black Knights are vying for a piece of the conference championship, but to do it, they've got to beat Hayesville, who has got a dominant JV program this year. And, of course, Thursday will be Robbinsville Volleyball at Cherokee, Robbinsville Football Varsity action at Swain County. And as always, fans, you can keep up with the latest news from and around Graham County, North Carolina, in our core base product, what brought us to the dance 67 years ago. That is the Graham Star, your hometown newspaper since 1955. Phillips with another nice serve. Return eked over by Susanna Rayner for the Mustangs, and it's 7-5 Robbinsville as Zalia Spencer tags in for another appearance on the back row. She's listed as a defensive specialist on the Mustangs roster. Pass by Waddy, return by Barlow, squeaks over the net. Mustangs scramble but recover nicely. Last touch by Mariella Shepard. And Carpenter and Barlow can't get on the same page on the right side of the net, and that's trouble. 7-6. Lady Knight passes by Waddy and Phillips. Barlow bumps it back over. Shot by Rayner. Nice. Nicely done by Phillips on the back row. Returned by Barlow. Hard spike. Flynn blocked. Mustangs recover quickly, though. Nicely done. Here's Brooms for a smack. Spencer's going to set it into the cheap seats. Flynn ran out of room, or she might have had it. 8-6 Robbinsville. And I believe Waddy should be serving, and she is. There we go. Wachacha thought she was supposed to be coming in. Nicely greeted on the back row by Olivia Rice. Here's a shot by Greenlee Flynn. Goes nowhere. Brooms tip. Nice diving save by Shepard. And Flynn returns it. Set by Trammell. Shot by Carpenter. Drops. Nobody there to get anywhere near it. 9-6 Robbinsville here in set number 2. Flynn scrambles, tips it over off her fingernails. But it worked. Carpenter again. And everything's still alive. Pass from Trammell, set by Waddy. Push by Brooms. Good read of the defense by Delaney Brooms. And that makes it 10-6 here in set number 2. Here's Surrey Waddy again with another nice serve. Greeted by Isabel Stevens on the back row. Dive, and I mean just a hair short of a great effort. Paying off for Robbinsville. 10-7 is your score. There's a set and a shot blocked immediately by Wachacha, but everything's still alive. Another block, another reception, and that one's going to count though, folks. Here's another shot by Rayner. Brooms blocked at the net, immediately recovers Waddy's push. Here comes Brooms, and it hits the rafters here in Robbinsville. That's hard to do. Wachacha's push, and still alive. 11-7 Robbinsville. Here's Brooms again off of Trammell's nice pass. Returned again, this time by Steven. And Kinsley Phillips just can't reach it. 11-8, Smoky Mountain. Shot going. Blocked. Big block at the net. Give the credit to Chandler Jerome and Mariella Shepard for the Mustangs. 11-9 here in set number 2. Return by Jerome. Owl gets a forearm on it and nothing else. 11-10 will be your spread here in set number 2. Robbinsville, as we mentioned, undefeated in the Smoky Mountain Conference. This is another non-conference matchup. Interesting way it was scheduled, however. They saw Franklin a while back, and most of their opponents for the first time earlier this year. But Smoky Mountain, back-to-back matchups in 7 days. So both teams very familiar. It's very fresh on their minds how they perform. And the Mustangs have rallied back 11-11. Libero Olivia Rice will send it off for the Mustangs. And a big spike. Jerome is being fatal up front tonight. Smoky Mountain back up front. 12-11. Pass, and nobody can get there. Phillips couldn't figure out what to do, quite frankly, with that ball. Pass wasn't so hot. 13-11 here in set 2. Trammell's set. Here comes Brooms. And I mean, drove it straight to the ground, and somehow Rice got her forearm under it. But nobody's going to stop Wachacha's kill. 13-12. Brooms to serve. Brooms serves a big part of that 8-1 rally for Robbinsville in set number 1. Here's Brooms from the back. And she sends it out. Ever so close to the line, but not close enough. And that'll bring Mariella Shepard, another senior. She is the starting setter for the Mustangs. So her final year looking to finish strong. Mustangs are 7-8 this year. Been a back and forth season for Smoky Mountain. Point goes to the Knights, and just like that, Robbinsville threatening to tie it up. It's 14-13. Aubrey Wachacha will take the toss and prepare to serve. Spike by Jerome is blocked, and the Lady Knights return no good. Barlow and Phillips were hoping for a call, and they're not going to get it. Mustangs will get credit for the point. It is 15-13. Lottie to, I believe that was Phillips on the left side, and it was. Trammell right under the camera here makes a nice save. There's Barlow. And the return continues. Hard kill by Greenlee Flynn up front. I believe that was Miss Flynn, number 11. It was over here on the left side. And Isabel Stephen will serve. And Phillips on the second attempt can't get there. 17-13. Katie Phillips will call a timeout for her Lady Knights here on the Graham Star Sports Network. Back live from Robbinsville, 17-13 Mustangs. The patented jump set that Trammell puts up for Barlow. And the return from the Mustangs goes wide right. 17-14, Trammell will trot back to serve. We mentioned it every telecast, but how quickly Trammell's adapted to volleyball. Of course, she's practiced and worked out over the years with the team. Never has played, though. And a big kill on the left side for Kinsley Phillips, 17-15. Trammell has seamlessly dove into this role as setter. It's a crucial part of the offense, obviously. Can't really do much if you don't have a decent setter. Jerome sends it a country mile high, 17-16, and the back and forth tussle continues. And we'll go ahead and mention it. Of course, Trammell named the homecoming queen on Friday night. See a front page story about that in this week's edition of the Graham Star. Here's Kinsley Phillips, and it is blocked at the net. They're going to say that the Mustangs touched the net, and Claire Barlow and Kinsley Phillips are both upset. And you see Katie Phillips over on the bench having a fit over the missed call. Net was vibrating. Officials did not call it, and Chandler Jerome will serve now. 18-16 Robbinsville in a 2-point hole. This one tied again. Of course, that one ended 25-23. Credit to Robbinsville for getting back into that one after being down 6-0 to begin things. A big kill from the back by Delaney Brooms will turn the tie back to the Lady Knights. 18-17. Phillips will serve. Nice serve. A nice arc on it. And that one blocked for the net. 19-17, Smoky Mountain. Mustangs are showing when they have the advantage, they are not going to give it up easily, staying literally 1 to 2 steps ahead. And the serve from Spencer will get passed around the world. Brooms will find an open spot on the floor to get it back to a 1-point deficit, as both teams trying to make it interesting here in the latter part of set 2. And here comes a serve from Waddy. Getting some crowd support behind her as she fires it off. Big block up front by Wachacha, but nothing doing. And the return will go out. We're all knotted up at 19 apiece here in set 2. Ball set back over, safe and sound by Greenlee Flynn, who will now back up to serve. Mustangs back ahead 20-19. Decent crowd on hand tonight. It's a Monday night matchup if you're watching this in the future. Well, it's a tough night to get a crowd here, but a good turnout nonetheless. Many fans here from Silva. Here's Taya Owl. Spencer couldn't get a wrangle on it. Advantage Robbinsville, 21-20 here in set number 2. Timeout called by Melissa Hill. Robbinsville's 4 away from knotting this matchup in a deadlock. It's 21-20 on the Gramstar Sports Network, and Robbinsville on the right side of the scoreboard at the moment. No lead is safe here tonight, and both programs proving that. And you see it there again from the left side kill by Greenlee Flynn. Here's Olivia Rice to serve it. Nice serve. That one low and trouble. Taya Owl will get the return for the Lady Knights. Tip. Cha-Cha and Tremel not ready. 22-21. The nod goes back to Smoky Mountain as we're in the closing points tonight of set number 2. Kevin Hensley and Montana Buchanan with you for tonight's telecast. Always a privilege to bring you Black Knights athletics, and we are streaming 6 different sports all season long, all year long, and beyond. Here's Brooms with the kill, trying to tie it up again. Can't do it. Hard spike in the middle. Jerome thought she had the victory there, or at least the point. Shot in the middle by Jerome goes out. Robbinsville will take the gift. It is 22-22. And Brooms stepping up in a big spot here in the closing moments of set 2. Jerome's left-handed smack. Waddy couldn't do anything with it. Tried to push a pass over to somebody, but just could not get a wrangle on it. And here is Mariella Shepard with the Mustangs back ahead, 23-22. Shepard with a nice serve. Here's Phillips. Blocked. Immediate high pass to give Lady Knights a chance to breathe. And Owl tries to charge into the stands. Can't get there. 24-22. Katie Phillips calls a timeout. And we'll pause with her on the Graham Star Sports Network. And what should have been set point for the Mustangs is instead going to give Robbinsville another chance at life. Aubrey Wachacha will head back to the line, 24-23. Set by Trammell. Barlow tip. Nice dive to save it. Jerome tried some chicanery to throw him off. Here's Kinsley Phillips. And that's trouble. Smoky Mountain recovered. Barlow pops it over. Bruins with a nice save. Barlow with the return. Rice found it. That one almost dropped. Out. Jerome put too much pepper on it, and it flew out. And it is a 24-24 deadlock, so we are guaranteed at least an extra point here in Robbinsville for set 2. Another nice serve by Wachacha. And she is tickled about that. 25-24. Timeout call by the Mustangs. It's a nail-biter here in set 2, fans. Back in just a moment. (25-24). Aubrey Wachacha coming up with a big serve here, hoping to get the victory for Robbinsville, but not going to do it. It goes out. She shakes her head in disbelief and jogs off. That one could have cinched it for the Lady Knights, but instead we're tied up at 25 apiece. Boy, did the Lady Knights try their darndest there. Trammell to Barlow. Just could not rally it over the net. And just like that, it's set point for the Mustangs, with Isabel Stevens serving. Waddy, Trammell, Barlow tip. Flynn greets it. And will return on a tip for her own. Barlow again. There is Bailey Kohler on the left side, excuse me, the right side. Phillips covered a lot of ground to save that one. Nicely done. Here's Waddy, and she saves it. Still alive. But you're not going to deny it when Chandler Jerome hits one in the middle. 27-25. Boy, the nail-biter rolls on, fans. Back in 3 here on the Graham Star Sports Network. Back with you from Robbinsville, fans. It is a 2-0 Smoky Mountain lead, but by the skin of their teeth, as it's been a 25-23, 27-25 journey so far here tonight. Lady Knights are looking to get back in this one. They got to win 3 in a row here in Robbinsville. Kevin Hensley and Montana Buchanan with you for tonight's telecast of Lady Knights Volleyball, our only telecast of the week for volleyball or football. We will be back with you until next Thursday, October the 6th, when Andrews pays a visit for volleyball action here in Robbinsville. The next night we'll see Hall of Fame night with Robbinsville and Cherokee under the Big Oaks. And a shot goes into the net, and Robbinsville gets the early nod. It's 1-0 here in set number 3. Appreciate all you great fans being with us here on the Gramstar Sports Network. And the ball drops into the back of the court. 1-1 here in set 3. Remember, fans, we do appreciate your business and want you to stay with us as much as you can and be with us all as much as you can as well. But if you are found to be sharing the link and did not make a purchase to someone that did not make a purchase, I should say, you will automatically be banned from our site and any future purchases. There's Waddy trying to dive for it. Can't get the job done. 2-2, and in the blink of an eye, we're locked back up. If the Mustangs get out of here with a sweep, it will be the most well-earned sweep in recent history in Western North Carolina. This has been a nail-biter from the outset. Pass, and it goes back over. Blocked at the net. Claire Barlow and Liz Carpenter providing the coverage necessary to shut down the Mustangs. 3-2 Robbinsville advantage. Cue up Surrey Waddy at the service line. Great on the back row by Isabel Stephen. There's Carpenter with a hard spike. She's come a long way on the right side. And give that point to Lady Knights. It is 4-2. Shot goes over. Here's Trammell. Passes it to Brooms. And a definitive kill by the junior outside hitter, Delaney Brooms. And look out, Robbinsville's up 5-2 here in set number 3. Waddy will serve it up. Finds it on the back row. Here comes at the bottom of the screen. Waddy now will pass over to Brooms. And get the call again. 6-2 Robbinsville. And that one doesn't even get touched by Mariella Shepard, and the Mustangs can't get on the same page. Melissa Hill wants to find out why. 7-2 Robbinsville here in set number 3. Surrey Waddy will fire it off as we're back with you live from Robbinsville. Good to have you with us on the Gramstar Sports Network. It's as bare bones of production as you'll find, but we're doing everything in our power to enhance the telecast, and quite frankly are on the cusp of doing so. We almost had it ready to roll out tonight as a surprise for all you fans, but of course we ran into some audio glitches just before the telecast began and could not get any audio to go out. So we didn't want you listening to a silent movie, so to speak. Taya Owl will step up now with an 8-3 Robbinsville advantage here in set number 3. Lady Knights trail the match 2-0. And one touch too many for the Mustangs. 9-3 Robbinsville. Lady Knights are not going to go away quietly, and they've proven that already here tonight. Of course, all their losses this season have came against non-conference opponents, including a set of losses to the 3A Private League state runner-up last year in the Asheville Christian Academy, who, by the way, has run up a 15-0 record this year, so they're just as strong. And Robbinsville hung tough with them the first outing here at home. We know what the Lady Knights are capable of. Just want to see them apply it all the way through a match. 10-3 Robbinsville here in set 3. Taya Owl takes her time, finally gets it off. Phillips greets it. Here's Trammell to Brooms. Hard spike. Olivia Rice can't get under it. 11-3 Lady Knights. Owl again to serve. That one's out. But hey, Robbinsville up 11-3 here in set 3. Lady Knights are not looking for an early punch out tonight. They want to make this one go 5 and keep it going. Blocked at the net. And that may give some pep to the step of the Mustangs. Mariela Shepard and Susanna Rayner tag team the block there of Delaney Brooms. And it is 11-6 now. Mustangs trying to rally after trailing by 8. Here comes Rayner again. Owl saves it. Pass from Trammell. Back over by Phillips in a mad scramble. Set by Shepard. It'll be a tip by Steven. And that one is going to be in. Point Robbinsville. 12-6 is your score here in set number 3. Fans, don't worry, we're not exactly thrilled with the model we have set up right now where we're having to share links with you to videos, but we just simply can't get any more cooperation from our web host at this time. And we know the video service on there is not that fantastic. So we'll let you purchase it, and then we'll send you a link, and we'll just trust. And I know who's bought the link tonight. I trust every one of you, of course, but we'll just trust you guys will keep it to yourselves. And again, as we said, a portion of the proceeds from all the sales this season for every sport will be donated back to that respective sport. My, is Robbinsville cooking right now, 13-8 here in set 3 as the Lady Knights are trying desperately to keep this one alive. Dropped a pair of tough, close matches, 25-23, 27-25 in sets 1 and 2 respectively. Phillips with a big kill, 14-8. And there's a big block at the net by the sophomore from Pink Sawyer Road, Claire Barlow, 15-8. Big spike by Wachacha. Saved somehow, some way. Shepard with the last touch. Here's Phillips' tip. Still on its feet, though. Brooms to Trammell. Here's Barlow with a tip in the middle, and she found an open hole. And Barlow playing more like a veteran than a rookie here tonight. 16-8. But for being honest, fans, Barlow's done that about all season. Has played a lot of prowess in her sophomore season as the middle hitter for Robbinsville. And another point for the Lady Knights. It's 17-8. Holy smokes. And Melissa Hill is flustered, to say the very least. She calls her Mustangs over for a word and will step aside here on the Grand Star Sports Network. Don't blink, fans. Set 3 is flying by. The Lady Knights need just 8 to push it to a fourth set. Of course, they trail 2-0 here in the contest. Smoky Mountain has prevailed in a pair of tight ones off the bat. And the Mustangs trying their very best to get back in it. Call reversed. A little bit of net action for Greenlee Flynn, and Smoky Mountain not happy. I thought they had this point back. But it's the biggest advantage of the night by far for Robbinsville. 18-8 here in set number 3. And the serve from Machacha goes out. And she'll jog off the floor as Soriwati will jog in. Olivia Rice will hand off the ball to her teammate, Mariella Shepard. Shepard with a nice jump serve. She's also a southpaw when she fires it off. Pushed by Kinsley Grace, and it's going to be saved by Smoky Mountain. Greenlee Flynn with the return. Jump serve. That means Barlow, and she'll tip it over, but the ball's still in play. Nicely greeted by Brooms. Pass from Trammell. Phillips almost found an open hole. Flynn with a nice layout to keep it going. Here's Barlow again. Rice right there. Shepard pushover. And a tip battle at the net between Jerome and Barlow. And I'll try it again. Tried to throw everything off and pretty much did. Waddy won't get it over. Try as she may. 18-10. Boy, what a wild volley that was here in set number 3. Returned by Brooms. Flynn pass to Shepard, and now Jerome in the middle. That's where she is absolutely dangerous. But you know what? Brooms is dangerous from the middle back. 19-10. Carpenter will tag in for Owl for front row defense. While we have a moment, fans, we want to thank our season-long sponsor, Blevins Electric and Blevins Insurance. Located off Rodney Orr Bypass, Blevins Insurance can fulfill all of your insurance needs. Give them a call today and get a quote. Also, give a special shout out to businesses like Coy Adams Timber Company and Levin Contracting for their contributions in making these telecasts possible for all of you great fans here on GramStarSports.com. Returned by Phillips. Greeted on the back row by Steven. Now a shot by Jerome. Waddy was ready that time. Not at that time, though. And she's not happy about it. Brooms and Waddy. Ball just drops in between. Waddy was so happy after getting the return. But Jerome just broke her heart and didn't mind doing so. 19-12, all's fair in love and war. Here comes Phillips. And it is saved on the back by another nice layout by Steven. Nice tip by Barlow. Boy, then the Lady Knights have to scramble to save that one. 20-12. Kinsley Phillips, your first runner-up for Homecoming Queen, will now serve. Grace greets it. And a shot. And Phillips can't get under it in time. It flies under the net. 20-13 is your score here in set number 3. As we welcome Chandler Jerome, the middle hitter killer for the Lady Mustangs, to the service line. And what an arc on that serve. Boy, that broke midair beautifully. Point Robbinsville, win, lose, or draw. They're going to say Clower touched the net. But Brooms, no doubt, had the kill. And Robbinsville is 4 away from pushing this one to at least a 4th set. And once again, Mustangs touch the net. Ellie Clower is having a hard time laying off, and it's costing the Mustangs here in set 3. Nice return. Saved by Robbinsville. Kinsley Phillips on the last bump. Shot in the middle. Flynn gets it back over. There's Wachacha with a nice return. And the Mustangs will lay out. Let it drop out of bounds. 22-14. Robbinsville depleted this year. Numbers are down about 4 or 5 or so from last year's roster. So every person on the bench gets playing time. Rotations in and out. There are no reserves for the Lady Knights this year. The only one is on the bench right now, Thayla Welch. And we hope to see her back by the end of the season. She's been recovering from a knee injury. Hopefully we'll get back in for a serve or two down the line. Rice, 8 up by that Tao serve, 24-14. Where has this Lady Knights team been all night? Smoky Mountain awoke a sleeping giant, so to speak. And we're just about to the end of the set as a result. Here's the set. Tip by Flynn. And Waddy, after the pass from Trammell to Brooms. And Flynn again. It's out, though. Robbinsville will keep us going here, folks. How about a 14-25 split? It was all Lady Knights from the opening serve here in the 3rd segment. We'll step aside and come back with you for set 4 on the Gramstar Sports Network. Lady Knights have made things interesting here in Robbinsville. It is now a 2-1 Smoky Mountain lead here as we go into set number 4. Smoky Mountain picked up the victories in sets 1 and 2, and then, frankly, fans, a completely different Robbinsville team showed up for set 3 and dominated the Mustangs 14-25, and we'll roll into set 4. Of course, we have not seen a 5th set this year. And if we get that far into it, fans, it is a race to 15. That's 3 out of 5 here in North Carolina. I know some surrounding states like Georgia still play at 2 out of 3. Makes for a more compact evening. But we go college rules here in the state of North Carolina. And obviously a lot of thrills come from that. Shot in the middle. Trammell said, here's Kinsley Phillips. And my goodness, did Kinsley Grace send the ball deep into the floor. There's a hand imprint on the ball and one on the floor from Kinsley Phillips on that kill attempt. 1-0. Gets things underway here in set number 4. Hard serve by Desta Trammell. And a nice, hey, how about that response from the Mustangs? Greenlee Flynn found an open spot in the back right corner of the court. And it's 1-1. 1-1 is your score. Here comes Chandler Jerome to serve for the Mustangs. And Buddy, she eked it over the net, 2-1 here in set number 4. That one not where it needed to be. Coach Katie Phillips on the sidelines. You see her standing there with her clipboard in hand. Done a great job with this program over the years. Led the team to a 4th round playoff appearance in 2019. If you're keeping track at home, Kinsley Phillips on the floor right now was the only varsity player on the roster then, and she was a freshman. Fayla Welch was still hanging out in the Big Cove of Cherokee. Desta Trammell was dribbling a basketball. And Taya Owl was plying her craft as a junior varsity player that season. Lady Knights were just 2 rounds away from the state championship that year. And Katie Phillips has done a great job. She a volleyball standout of her own during her career. Graduated from Robbinsville in 2012. Done a great job guiding the ship since taking over in 2017. The amount of turnover has been significant. We mentioned last set about Trammell having to fill in the role of setter and Claire Barlow having to step up as a middle hitter as a sophomore. Brooms, boy, did she measure that one and found a corner of the court. 5-3 Smoky Mountain here in set 4. Robbinsville graduated 6 seniors last year. So they lost their setter, they lost the libero, they lost some middle hitters. Of course, they still had Phillips and Brooms to outside hit. So really had to adjust this season, and Robbinsville is hanging tight at 10-4 at the moment. So needless to say, everything coming up roses still for the Lady Knights, a very successful program over the years. Here's the pass. Here's the shot. And there was then Azalea Spencer, saving it for Smoky Mountain. Phillips pass to Aubrey Wachacha. Good communication on the floor on both sides of the net right now. Set by Trammell, tipped by Brooms, and that ends the volley. Good dive by Susanna Rayner, but it's for naught. Boy, she just floated up there and tipped it. And they were all ready for a hard shot and got a soft serve instead. And a backhand attempt by Greenlee Flynn trying to use the backside of her forearm. And instead, the Lady Knights are now tied 5-5 with the Mustangs. Here's Trammell to Brooms. Nice save, but it was for naught as Stevens sent it a bit too high and a bit too wide. 6-5 Robbinsville. Hard shot over. Waddy will greet it. Here's Trammell to Brooms. And around the world we go. Greenlee Flynn with the last touch. Set by Shepard, and the return will once again get found by Robbinsville. Liz Carpenter with the shot that time. And the volley goes to the Mustangs. Trying to look and see if Smoky Mountain had went to 5 sets this year. They have, as a matter of fact. Not once, but twice. And both times against Cherokee. Cherokee and Swain County and Murphy and Robbinsville all battling for the top spot in the conference this year. Robbinsville currently sits atop, though. They are unbeaten and about to make up for missed time A lot of conference matchups lined up here at the end of the season. Most of the conference already has 5 or 6 conference affairs under their belt. Robbinsville has 4. And the serve from Flynn will go awry. And it is 7-7 here in set number 4. Taya Owl will jog back to the service line. They're a senior for the Knights. And that'll be an ace for Taya Owl. She is dangerous in relief. She's guaranteed an ace most any time she gets onto the floor. 8-7 Robbinsville here in set number 4. We'll have a recap of this match, tomorrow night's action at Swain County, and all the latest sports news from and around Graham County in the Graham Star, available each and every week on newsstands everywhere. We have been providing unparalleled news coverage from and around Graham County since 1955. Shot over by Rice. And a double tap over by Jerome. Robbinsville thought she might have touched the net. Call not made. Rice again with the serve. 9-8 Lady Mustangs. Blocked by Wachacha. And nothing doing for Jerome that time. A big block for the big junior middle hitter, Aubrey Wachacha. Looking over the stats coming into tonight's matchup, Owl, we were mentioning, guaranteed an ace almost any time she comes in. She actually leads the team. Well, she led coming into tonight with 27 aces on the season. Just behind her is Delaney Brooms with 26, Kinsley Phillips with 23. Those stats are, of course, as of last Tuesday's matchup against High Wassee Dam. In kills, Phillips has exactly 2 more than Delaney Brooms. Barlow, by far and away the best blocker with 26. Phillips has dug out 223 shots this year. And the senior Desta Trammell with 413 assists. 11-9 is the score. Good communication still on the floor. Got to have that here in set number 4. Not a time for mistakes this late in the matchup. Trammell will pass it back to the back row and Brooms. Jerome tried to block it. Brooms will send it back over Jerome's head that time. Ball goes to Steven. Here comes Phillips. And it's in. Another kill for the senior outside hitter. She is billed from the lower end of High Splendor, Kinsley Phillips. And from the bowels of Old Santitla Road is Aubrey Wachacha. Just a pack of lunch, just gets to town every day. That's a long way out, Old Santitla. Not too terribly far from the start of the Cherahela Skyway. Rice pass. Shot over and blocked. How about Claire Barlow tonight, fans? Is she paying dividends in the middle or what? Not only blocking the ball, she's known to do that, but she has posted some serious kills as well. And it's 11-11 here in set 4. Chacha serve. Rice greets it. Pass from Shepard. Tipped by Chandler Jerome. And onward we go. There's a tip by Phillips. Pass. Shot. Owl sends it a mile high. And it drops in. And Robbinsville will rejoice after that call. The Smoky Mountain faithful not too pleased with the decision. Line judge with a late call there after the side judge did not have anything to say He turned to the line judge for the final ruling, and it went to Robbinsville. There's Flynn on the return. Wachacha to Trammell. Here's Barlow. Tip. And somehow Smoky Mountain rolls it back over the net. Block immediately responded to by Robbinsville. Trammell with the return. And Jerome blocked by Barlow again. Big shot in the middle. Still alive are Robbinsville. And the volley that never ends will roll along to a Kinsley Phillips shot. As soon as I said it. I'm sorry, Kinsley. I know you'll hear that later. Phillips sends it out. 12-12 here in set number 4. All right, spike in the middle and nothing doing. So a pair of return errors. And Robbinsville with the advantage again, 13-12 for Desta Trammell. Block attempt goes awry for the Lady Knights. 13-13 for Chandler Jerome here in set number 4. And the seesaw battle rages on as Kinsley Phillips will now serve for the Lady Knights. Returned by Greenlee Flynn. Phillips greets it. Trammell set. Carpenter from the right side. And couldn't come up with it though. Smoky Mountain will keep it going. Now tipped by Brooms trying to throw things off. And the point will go to Smoky Mountain that time. Brooms got into the net. 14-13 here in set 4. Now we've got a disagreement between officials here in set 4. And they're not conceding either. Almighty, officials are in a stalemate right now. Uh-oh. Don't want to see that. The ladder officials said Smoky Mountain. The floor officials said Robbinsville. And you can tell things are getting tense when the officials can't get along. But the point will go to the Mustangs in the end. And a return by Surrey Waddy. And a big kill by Greenlee Flynn makes it 15-14 advantage Mustangs here in set number 4. Here's Brooms with a big tip. And a return. Nicely done by Rayner. That trickled off some fingertips and went a little bit awry as a result. 16-14 here in set number 4. Zalia Spencer with the serve. Phillips greets it. Here's Trammell to Delaney Brooms. And somehow Spencer got under it to keep it going. Either team want to concede defeat here, obviously. Trammell will roll it back over in the most unique way possible. She hit it with her right hand behind her and over her head. And it spun over the net. 16-15 for Surrey Waddy. There's a pass from Phillips back to Brooms, back to Phillips. Rice greets it, set by Shepard. In the middle, Flynn got a hand on it. And the Mustangs will try it again. They'll run the same play. And Flynn got a little too excited on the return. It is 16-16 here in set number 4. Remember, fans, Robbinsville wins this one. We're going to 5. And we're with you for the duration here on the Grand Star Sports Network. And how about that one by Rayner, getting into the back right corner of the net. And the ball with so much momentum, it just rolls itself back to the net. Liz Carpenter will help finish the job. 18-16. Momentum can change so quickly in this sport. Blink of an eye, a lead could be gone, and the tide could shift. Steven gets it back over. Phillips does the same for Robbinsville. And a return that time by Rayner. Set by Trammell. Kill by Brooms is saved by Rice. So Brooms will play it safe and just pop it over the net. Rayner with a kill attempt. Trammell's got it back to Phillips. Nice pass to Brooms. High pass. And a kill. And Brooms found an open gap on the back right corner of Smoky Mountain's court. And it's 17-17. Needless to say, a prime matchup for you tonight here on the Grand Star Sports Network. Here's Taya Owl to serve in this tied set. Smoky Mountain has the advantage in the match, 2-1. Here comes Brooms. Fake out nicely done by Wachacha. And how about a tip that time to send it under the net? Advantage Robbinsville, 18-17. And if you weren't a fan of volleyball before tonight, fans, you should be now. This has been a clinic. Set 3 was a little rough for the Mustangs, but other than that, it's been a highly, highly competitive contest here tonight in Graham County, North Carolina. Here comes Brooms. Hard kill, and that's trouble in no man's land. Saved, though. Good effort by Shepard and Rayner there. Here's Wachacha for a kill attempt. Blocked immediately by Rayner. Phillips pass to Brooms. Flynn digs down the back right corner. Here comes Steven. Waddy greets it. Here's Brooms. Spencer can't do anything with that. 19-17 Robbinsville here in set number 4. Timeout called by Mustangs coach Melissa Hill. Robbinsville pumped, and the Mustangs are reeling. Stay with us on the Graham Star Sports Network. Highly intense matchup here on the Graham Star Sports Network. 19-17 Robbinsville. We are amidst set 4 here tonight against the Smoky Mountain Mustangs from Jackson County in beautiful Sylva, North Carolina. Aubrey Wachacha with a no-doubter. And boy, are the Lady Knights cooking at the moment. Holy cow. What a spirited comeback. Robbinsville dropped sets 1 and 2, 25-23, 27-25. Came back with a dominant third set, 14-25. And in this one, are up by 3, threatening to go to 5 sets. Brooms kill. Spencer somehow defended it, but not well enough. It went out of bounds. And boy, the Lady Knights are on fire right now. So much energy on the floor. That's good to see. This program, 10-4 for the year. But honestly, folks, has had a lot of issues putting together a cohesive matchup. And that is to say, playing all 3 sets out. Point went to the Mustangs. Trammell let it go, thinking it was going to be out. It was pretty close to the line, but the Mustangs will get the nod, and it's 21-18 as a result. And Aubrey Wachacha can't get there in time. Trammell got tangled up in the net. 21-19. And looky here, folks, it's getting down to the wire again. What a surprise. Here in set 4, Olivia Rice with a beautiful serve. Phillips greets it, though. Here's Brooms on the return. Rice will bump it over to Shipper for the set. And the return by Steven, greeted by Phillips. Trammell to Brooms. Nicely dug out in the back row by defensive specialist Zalia Spencer. Here comes Brooms. And nobody's going to slow that one down. That one come off her hand about 8,000 miles an hour. 22-19. Should have a disclaimer on the screen right now, Montana. My speed estimates are always that, estimates. If she reached 8,000 miles an hour, the ball would have exploded. Brooms with a hard shot after her big kill. Here comes a shot from Chandler Jerome. And don't look now, Robbinsville's going to save that point. Good effort. Good hustle. Great communication. Blocked by Wachacha goes awry. 22-20. Rotation as Spencer will tag out for Bailey Clower for front row defense. And it is Mariella Shepard back at the line for the Mustangs. Phillips greets it. Good serve. Uh-oh, that is trouble. Waddy tries to save it, and Buddy comes within the skin of her teeth from doing so. 22-21. Hey, you get what you pay for. If you're watching Robbinsville, North Carolina sports, you're going to get some Robbinsville, North Carolina expressions. Skin of her teeth, and what have you. Waddy to Phillips. Here's Wachacha for the smack. And that's a little too hard. It's tied. Katie Phillips is going to talk to her team as we're going down to the wire here in set 4. Robbinsville trails in the match 2-1. We're tied 22 apiece here in set 4. You're in the right place for some competitive action tonight, folks. 22-22 as we go into the closing moments of set 4. And when you're the Mustangs leading the match 2-1, you don't want to have a service error. Mariella Shepard making a boo-boo there. Advantage Robbinsville. They're 2 away from the W. And Aubrey Wachacha seems to always be up in these situations here tonight. Late serves from Aubrey Wachacha. There's Jerome. Brooms pass to Trammell to Kinsley Phillips. That drops in. And Robbinsville is 1 away, fans, from pushing this to a tie-breaking 5th set here tonight. Alyssa Hill is going to try to break the momentum. And we'll pause with her. Back in just a moment, fans, on GramStarSports.com. It is set point for Robbinsville, and Aubrey Wachacha will try to serve it across, and she does. Nice serve by Aubrey Wachacha, returned by Chandler Jerome. Trammell to Phillips. And there's Rice on the return. Jerome has blocked. And we will see you in set number 5. It's 22-25 Robbinsville. Race to 15 coming up in 3 minutes on the Gramstar Sports Network. Well, fans, each team gets 3 minutes in between sets. And in both teams took about 90 seconds. They're ready to get this one in the books. Set 5 coming your way here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Robbinsville got the opening serve, and it will be a point for Smoky Mountain. And the serve goes out just like that. We go right back to Robbinsville, and Smoky Mountain being knotted up at 1 apiece. Sounds like we had a ball in the stands that, well, quite frankly, it doesn't belong there. So get that out of the way, and onward we go here in set number 5. Two-1 Robbinsville. Kinsley Phillips at the line. Shot by Chandler Jerome. Here's the push. Here's the return. And that's the first time that's been called tonight, a double touch. I think we're going to call it on Liz Carpenter. 2-2 here in set 5. Again, fans, when we go to the tiebreaker, it is a race to 15. You still have to win it by 2. But if you get to 15 and you're 2 ahead, you get the W. Third time this season, the Mustangs have been pushed to the tiebreaker. Robbinsville has not been here yet. So it'll be interesting to see how much endurance these girls really have. Unlimited, I truly believe, but we'll see if they can apply it. And with kills like that from the Lady Brooms, it doesn't look like Robbinsville's out there sucking wind. Should be good to go. 3-2 here in set 5 for the freshman Surrey Waddy. Shepard tip. Tried to tip it over instead of setting it for the approaching Susanna Rayner. And it's 4-2 as a result. Brooms with a bump over. Saved at the last split second by Steven. Waddy with a good dive. And there's some keen net awareness by Greenlee Flynn. Spiked it right back. Trammell tried to get there and couldn't do anything with it. It's 4-3 Mustangs ball. And it will go to Zalia Spencer. Well, it's been tight all night, fans. 27-25 was set 2 score. 25-23 was set 1 score. 22-25 was a set 4 score. Set 3 was 14-25, but nonetheless, it's been tight 3 of the 4 sets anyway. Very competitive match nonetheless throughout the night. Robbinsville battling back from a 2-0 deficit to force us to where we are. And it's been nothing short of thrilling here tonight in Robbinsville. Here's Owl. Hard smack. Spencer greets it. Shepard pass. And Flynn will send it over. Here's a Wachacha pass to Brooms. Great adjustment in midair. Rayner was, I won't say not ready, but certainly not ready for an angled attack like that. 6-3 is the score here in set number 5. And Owl with a service error gives the ball back to the Mustangs. Real quick, while we got another minute, we want to thank our sponsor all season long, Blevins Electric and Blevins Insurance. Blevins Insurance located at 480 Rodney Orr Bypass Give them a call for all of your insurance needs. Also, a special shout out to Coy Adams Timber Company and Love It Contracting for helping make these broadcasts possible for all of you great Black Knights fans. Broom kill, broom serve. Everything Delaney Brooms at the moment, 7-4 your score, and she'll send it back over the net, a real screamer. But the Mustangs play it. Nicely done. Pass from Brooms to Trammell, a little low. But they'll recover nicely with the Phillips return. Here comes Steven on a spike from the left side, and she'll get it through the gap. 7-5. Got to be talking here in set 5. Again, fans, real quick, schedule changes. Tomorrow night will still be the same. Robbinsville Volleyball at Swain County. Watch it on the Maroon Devils Network. Wednesday night, JV football here at home against Hayesville. 6 o'clock kickoff. Robbinsville playing for a share of the conference championship. Jerome with a net violation there. 8-5 Robbinsville. Thursday night will now be varsity football night at Swain County instead of Friday. And the Lady Knights volleyball team will go to Cherokee for another Smoky Mountain Conference matchup of their own on Thursday as well. That's how the rest of the week will play out as the hurricane weather will roll through western North Carolina on Friday. Try to get everything in that we can. Make sure these kids are safe. Timeout called by Melissa Hill. 9-5 Robbinsville. They're 6 away from the ultimate comeback. Right down to the wire we go, fans. It's 9-5 here in set number 5 from Robbinsville. And a line drive from Aubrey Wachacha gets us restarted after the timeout. Kinsley Phillips runs out of room. Almost wiped out Becky Ward over at the scorer's table. 9-6 your score. Good to see Delaney's older sister Daly over at the scorer's table tonight, keeping track of the stats for Smoky Mountain. For Robbinsville, I beg your pardon. The Smoky Mountain scorekeeper was signaling to a player on the floor. Just them, my apologies. Quick word of encouragement from, I'm sure, mother to daughter there. And a hard return by Phillips. Shot by Jerome. And it will be in. It makes it 9-7. So 2 quick points. And we're at set 5, fans. It had to come down to a back and forth battle. Nobody's going to run away with this one. Sorry, Waddy ducked down, but couldn't get where she needed to be. 9-8. And now the 3-0 run will be interrupted by Katie Phillips' timeout call on the Gramstar Sports Network. Mary Ella Shepard, number 15, the senior setter for the Mustangs, will serve it up here as the Mustangs are trying to get back into this one, but she'll serve it out. That's her second time in as many sets having a service error following a timeout. So smart strategy to break the momentum with a pause. Now it's senior setter Desta Trammell to the line, 10-8 Robbinsville. This has been a barn burner here tonight in Graham County. Point goes to the Mustangs. I believe they're going to say Kinsley Phillips that time with a net infraction. You know Robbinsville wants this one. Big kill for Kinsley Grace, 11-9. Lady Knights, and she'll jog back to the line and await the ball. I believe it ran all the way back to normally the boys visiting locker room when we have basketball here. And yes, fans will of course be streaming basketball and wrestling this winter, softball and baseball in the spring. And if we like it enough, we'll try it all again next year. Here's Brooms. Big smack. Rice got a forearm on it, but didn't get under it in time. 12-9. And the Lady Knights are 3 away from the W in what has been nothing less than a 5-set thriller here tonight in Graham County. Flynn with the return to Surrey Waddy. Trammell sets Phillips on the back row. She sends it over, and the Mustangs get tangled up on the court. 2 away from the win. Timeout called again. And a shriek out of Katie Phillips. Proud of her, Lady Knights, for this spirited effort. Stepping aside here on the Graham Star Sports Network. Back in just a moment. It's Robbinsville Varsity Volleyball on the Graham Star Sports Network, and if you tuned in to watch it tonight, folks, you tuned in for the best one so far we've been able to telecast this year. We're in the 5th set, and Robbinsville is 2 away from a W after trailing 2-0 in the match. Waddy takes a spill over on the edge of the scores table. Eden Orr is the team manager. And I think we lost maybe about 3 pieces of popcorn was all that was damaged in the fall. No Waddies or oars were harmed in that play. Jump set for Delaney Brooms with a quick smack to the left. Nice recovery. Robbinsville just in sync right now. Ball drops in Smoky Mountain territory, 14-10. And it'll be up to freshman Surrey Waddy for the last serve. And we got a rotation coming here. It looks like Abigail Cook will sub in for Bailey Clower on the front row as the Mustangs are trying anything they can to break Robbinsville's momentum late. Waddy serve, nicely done. Here's Shepard. Flynn with a big spike. Touch the net. I believe on the other side it may have been Brooms or Wachacha. I'm not sure which one did it. But it's 14-11 and another quick substitution as that will set down Cook. And Zalia Spencer will tag in with Robbinsville on set point. Oh my, what a save by Brooms. Treble set, Wachacha for the win. And they got it! Holy cow, what a shot by Aubrey Wachacha. And that is a definitive end to tonight's match. 11-15. We'll run down the set scores one more time, fans. It went 25-23, 27-25 Smoky Mountain, and then 14-25, 22-25, 11-15 Robbinsville, and indeed another one bites the dust here tonight in Graham County. For Montana Buchanan, I'm Kevin Hensley. Thank you for staying with us for the duration. We'll see you folks next Thursday for varsity volleyball action against Andrews. Until then, have a good evening, everybody.